hypocrisy, and special treatment. We talking about protests and weddings. We're going to get into it. Let's get it. Welcome. First of all, welcome. This is Unsolicited Perspectives. I'm your host, Bruce Anthony, here to lead the conversation in important events and topics that are shaping today's society. Join the conversation and follow us wherever you get your audio podcasts. Subscribe to our YouTube channel for our video podcasts and YouTube exclusive content. Rate, review, like, comment, share. Share with your friends, share with your family, hell, even share with your enemies. On today's episode, it's a Sibling Happy Hour. I'm here with my sis, Aundrea. We're going to be dilly-dallying a little bit. Then we're going to be talking about the protest in LA. And then we're going to be talking about weddings. But that's enough of the intro. Let's get to the show. What up, sis?
What up, brother?
I can't call it. I don't know how this first segment of dilly-dallying is going to go. You've had a long day. I've had a long day. I've been agitated today. You've been agitated today. Mm-hmm. You got a nice hair wrap that matches your shirt today on the video podcast. That's all good.
Yeah. You know, I'll try to do a little something. You know, now that I'm in the office, I'm like, okay, I got to be a little presentable. I got called a, quote, like a real adult today by, as you know...
What?
As you know, of the interns, I'm one of 3 graduate students. So the rest are undergraduate, rising seniors. You know,
babies.
They were babies. Yes. So they wanted to do a hangout outside of work. I said, oh, we can go bowling. You know, there's like a lucky strike. And they were like, oh, we can't get in because it's 21 and up. So... And I was like, oh, I never have to think about things like that ever because I got friends whose kids are 21 and up. Okay. Right. So but yeah, they were talking about saving money and holding on to their money. And I said, you know, when I get paid, I got to take a screenshot of it because it disappears so quickly. Mm-hmm. And they were like, oh, because you're like a real adult, right? So yeah, I guess you could say that.
Well, but that's true though, right?
It's true. I said, yeah, I have a mortgage, and you know, and they're like, oh my god, for real? Yeah, yes, young people, I am like a real adult. Yes.
So, that is really being emotionally intelligent and aware of where they are in their life, because at that age, I swore I was grown.
Swore. You could not tell me at 19, 20, 21 that I wasn't an adult. I was an adult. And the fact that they know that they are not there, that they don't have real responsibilities. Like one of them said the most expensive thing he purchased was he put new brakes on his car.
Which can be expensive.
But you know, I was like, oh, okay, didn't purchase the car. I was probably given to you. Okay, all right.
Well, truth be told, we never purchased cars until we were like adults, like out of college and had jobs. So
yeah, I purchased my first car. I was 26, I think.
So, yeah. I mean, it's a little bit older than them, but that's funny. Did they not realize how old you were?
I don't know how they couldn't have. I've said like how long my career was in insurance, them years I put in. Mm-hmm. I've said I even have a necklace that has my birth year on it. It's tucked into my shirt because I don't want y'all to know. But I have a necklace that has my birth year on it. So I was born in the 1900s, baby. There's no way that y'all don't know that I'm grown. But yeah, it was just really funny. You're absolutely right. At that age, I was 100% certain that I was grown.
Was grown and was doing everything. You know, it was funny. Yeah. I sent you a reel. You probably haven't opened it yet because you've been busy today. And it was these old people, when I say old people, like gray hair walkers type old, right? And he starts off, the first person starts off, I was born in the 80th year of the 1900s. I said, wait a damn minute. That's the year I was born. He said, I'm 45 years old. It's like, and it was a bunch of people that was like, I graduated high school 1998. That's when I graduated high school in 1998. I'm not that old. I'm not that old.
Compared to these young people that I'm working with, I am a real adult. That's old, I think.
And you were born in the 1900s, and they were not.
They were not. They were not. Their birth year definitely starts with a 2. So, which is very, very interesting. Yes, I was born in the last century.
What's
kids
even crazier? What is the age where you have to get off your parents' insurance? Isn't it
26?
26. So somebody born in the 2000s got one more year to be on their parents' insurance. But they've already been drinking for 4 years.
Yeah.
I mean, technically, without being R. Kelly-ish, I can technically date somebody that was born between 2000 and 2005. Technically.
I wouldn't.
I said technically.
I mean,
not.
They're of age.
Right.
So but
I told you the story of when I met somebody recently, and she told me that she was 26 years old. And I was like, we could be friends and hang out, but nothing more. Because, like, you were born after I graduated high school. Like, after I was already in college.
Be my child. You could literally be my child. Yeah.
Might be. I don't know. Maybe.
It was a long time ago. You were a different person.
Nope.
Who knows?
Probably the same person. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't have any kids out there. Somebody that we know. Somebody that we know loves to say.
Oh, okay. I thought you were stuttering for a second.
No. Somebody that we know loves to say that you know of. And I was like, look, through technology, and then I had to stop there because I was going to say, I've come across everybody in the future. And that has not been the case. So technically, there absolutely could.
Yeah.
Absolutely could. And this child could be in LA. It could be in Houston. It could be in Vegas.
Child could be anywhere.
That's the reason why I won't get on Ancestry.com.
Houston, Vegas.
Houston, Vegas. That's the reason why I won't get on Ancestry.com.
So I am on it. So far, nobody has come up as potentially a niece or nephew like that close of a lineage. I don't have anybody on there like that. So I think you're safe.
Well, it depends. They're probably, I don't know. Look, I actually don't want to go down this road. So let's change the subject.
Let's not go down this rabbit hole.
Let's not go down this rabbit hole.
Let's not think too hard about things.
I actually would be legitimately pissed if a grown adult said, "Hey, you're my father." I was like, I missed all the fun parts.
Yeah.
What am I gonna do with you now?
Now you're just a bitter, jaded adult.
Right.
Without a dad.
I didn't know. I didn't know. Oh, you didn't know? No, I didn't know. And now that I know, what am I supposed to do about it? I give you life lessons.
Yeah, what am I supposed to do now? Right. What's the point now?
I got people who come to me for life lessons and they don't listen.
Let me just give you my medical profile and go on and enjoy the rest of your life.
Well, I don't know that neither because I don't go to the doctor.
Also that.
I'm a stereotypical black man. Go to the doctor.
And they were like, well, what happened to Bruce? Oh, no. You don't go to the doctor, so we don't know.
One day I'm just going to be walking down the street and just fall out. I'm going to be on my way to the liquor store, grocery store, and just fall out. And they'll be like,
I
what
love
happened?
that you know where you're going to be going.
Yeah, it's going to be one of them two places to the bitter end. To the bitter end. Either to go get me a bag of chips or to go get me some tequila. It's one or the other. Oh.
One of those.
Something, you know how you could take everything that you get on the internet with a grain of salt.
Yes.
But there's this viral TikTok going around where this guy who's supposed to be like a tequila expert
Mm-hmm.
saying that the major brands, the top
Mm-hmm.
brands, the Casamigos, the Don Julio 1492,
Mm-hmm.
the Casa Azul, like all this stuff, right? The
Mm-hmm.
top brands, it's not real tequila because during
Yeah.
the process, they're adding all these didn't what do they call it? Adjectives.
Additives, yeah.
Woo, I got that word right, ladies and gentlemen. You don't understand. I had to really think about that. They're adding all these additives, and that's not real tequila because real tequila is 100% the agave.
Yes.
And they messing it up. And I was like, damn, like Casamigos is my drink of choice. Now I got to find out if the Kirkland brand tequila is in that category too, because that's my number one. I mean, well, that's my number two, that Kirkland brand tequila.
Yeah. So, like, okay, because I'm looking it up. I have heard that like tequila is actually like a process or a brand or something like that. And like all of these other like brands or stuff are not actually agave tequila. So I don't know. I mean, that's
But what they're
I
saying
wonder.
is that it's not solely like they're just not like doing tequila properly. They're falsely advertising
Yeah.
what it
Well,
is.
right. Well, I see on here, I mean, who knows if this is true or if it's coming from Casamigos themselves, but it says it's made from 100% blue Weber agave,
That's what it
that
says.
it is real tequila, but there have been allegations that
Right.
it's not as pure as marketed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I
Yeah.
want that pure.
Want
Like
that
if I'm going to
pure.
have cocaine, yeah, I've been stumbling over my words. The other day when I filmed the episode, I was trying to say communicative. Can't even do it right now. Communicative.
Communicative, yes.
Yeah, that's a hard word to say
It
in a
is.
string of words when
Yeah.
you're trying to explain something.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm looking this up.
Okay.
It says Kirkland's signature tequila is considered real tequila because it's made from 100% blue agave.
Well, I knew it was made from 100% blue agave, but so is Casamigos, and they got the allegations.
Well, it says while it is a budget-friendly option, it still meets the standards for 100% agave tequila production.
Look, let me tell y'all, ladies and gentlemen, and I'm not being sponsored by Kirkland brand tequila, though I'll take that sponsorship.
Yeah.
I did a blind
Kirkland anything, honestly.
Actually, honestly, anything. I did a blind taste test with one of my snobby friends that was just like, only drink that good tequila. I said, hey man, have you tried the Kirkland? I don't want that Kirkland. That Costco tequila, I don't want that. I said, okay, let's do a blind taste test. Because at my house, I've got like 12 or 15 different bottles of tequila. And so I said, let me just line up 4. Okay. And 3 of them were the top brands, and 1 of them was the Kirkland brand. So he's going through all of them. He's like, man, those are good. This one seems like it's the best one. What bottle did I pull up? The Kirkland brand tequila. Y'all, if y'all don't believe me, if you can find a Costco that sells liquor, go to that Costco, get you that Kirkland brand tequila. It is good.
Try it out.
Try it out. Good.
I've also had it, and it is very good. So I don't know.
It's deceptive. You might take a little sip, and then that'd be it.
Be on your ass. Yeah.
I've got some good news.
Okay.
Sort of. Different news.
You look confused.
Well,
so I'm not sure. Is it good?
It's good for everybody that's a fan of our podcast because you're going to have the opportunity to get even more content.
Nice.
For a price. So with our increase in our presence on YouTube, we're going to start selling memberships on YouTube.
Nice.
Just like our Patreon. And I might roll Patreon into YouTube and allow those people who access YouTube already to just access the same stuff on Patreon on YouTube and just have it be the same price. But we're going to have like different tiers, and there'll be like a $2.99. That's just like a thank you, and we'll give you some perks. And then what we're going to start doing is cutting up the behind the scenes of me and my sister filming the show and the behind the scenes of me filming the show and doing the interviews. And we're going to put that behind the membership wall. We're going to stop doing it on the main page. So this might be the last episode where you get a behind the scenes, and that's a sneak peek. If you're watching the show, when I say, all right, I'll holla, that's not the end of the show. There's another segment that's a behind the scenes. The last one was like 12 minutes. It was not supposed to be that. Me and you was just chatting away at the end of the show.
Yeah, because people don't know. Like once you say cut, we still talk for like another 30 minutes. I don't know why.
Because because we like each other and love each other. And we like talking to each other.
Probably.
And we both messy and like gossiping. Oh, did you hear about this? And some stuff can't go on the podcast. Yeah, there is a time where we're filming the behind the scenes, and then one of us say, all right, I'm about to cut this off because I got to talk to you about something. And then that is private. Y'all don't get all of that stuff. But no, so
we don't record
and
that.
we're gonna reintroduce the merch store. So all of that's going to be coming next month.
Nice.
Well, it's going to be in
phases. Phase one.
Yeah, by the end of the summer, all that stuff will be implemented, and who knows where we go from here. I might add more shows to the Unsolicited Perspective podcast network with different hosts to give you different flavors on different things. I think that's the next step. So yeah, we making that move. We making that move.
I'm all for it. I love it.
You all for it, especially after you graduate.
Yeah, for sure. Because the next 6 weeks for me is just gonna be hell. So but after that.
Yeah, after that. So next year.
Then I have the fall semester.
No, next year.
Yeah, next year.
That doesn't mean that we're gonna stop working on the show. We're gonna still do the show. We still doing the show.
Part of like my busy lifestyle, quote unquote, I include the show as part of it. Yes,
ladies and gentlemen, my sister is extreme. She was working all day and then came and filmed the show. I literally text her, when are you available to film the show? And then I fit it in my schedule. This is after me working all day. We doing this for you. Yeah. Because we know that you really enjoy the show. You like our banter. You like
we got good banter.
I mean, hey, look. Hey,
I don't know. Maybe I'm biased.
No, look. Every now and then when I'm editing, I'll let the shows run and I'll watch them back. I'll be chuckling my ass off.
No, facts, because I was in the car the other day listening to the show and I was cackling. I was like, we kind of funny. And I don't know if it's just because our sense of humor is my sense of humor, so I find it funny, but other people might not. But I don't know. Y'all seem to like it, so we're gonna keep doing it.
Hey, look, we ain't giving them anything they don't want.
Exactly.
All right, that's enough of this silliness.
Yes.
We're gonna get into something serious, and we're gonna get into that next. Jay, there is something serious happening in Los Angeles, and we have friends in Los Angeles.
Yes, we do.
And they are telling me that it's serious, but not as serious. In other words, it's being blown up on certain platforms and being properly reported on other platforms.
Okay.
But the insightfulness of certain platforms reporting this is causing a lot of people to be like, well, I can't go to LA. It's a hellscape.
Yeah.
It's Mad Max out there. And it really, truly is not. But if you stream.
Kind of is.
Well, if you.
No, not this general. I mean, just, LA's tough. It's a tough place to be.
You talking about just in general.
Just in general. Yeah.
I mean, yes. LA is a tough place to be just in general because rent is too damn high.
Too damn high.
But what am I talking about, ladies and gentlemen? If you've been under a rock, Los Angeles protests all this month have been erupting in response to a series of aggressive immigration and customs enforcement ICE raids targeting undocumented immigrants following orders from the so-called commander-in-chief, President
So-called.
Donald J. Trump.
Mm.
This situation has escalated into one of the most significant confrontations over immigration policy that we have had in the federal authority in recent U.S. history. So this is people protesting these ICE raids. And I had got into an interesting conversation with somebody that I think of as extremely intelligent.
Mm-hmm.
And I am not against deportation. What I mean by that is, if you come into this country, they keep saying illegally, and it's more of a civil thing. It's not a criminal thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's
Mm-hmm.
like getting a parking ticket. That's what it technically is. It's not like committing murder. It's
Mm-hmm.
like getting a parking ticket. It's essentially trespassing. Okay.
Yeah.
You should be able to go through the proper channels to determine if you should be able to get asylum and be able to become a permanent resident of this country.
Mm-hmm.
If you go through that process and you are deemed to not have proper reasoning for the
Mm-hmm.
pathway in which you got into this country,
Mm-hmm.
you got to go. If you commit crimes,
Yeah.
you got to go. Large scale of these people that are being targeted by ISIS.
Not ISIS.
ISIS.
I mean, they might be targeted by ISIS, but it's ICE.
Well,
for
I'm
this.
calling it ISIS. Okay, by the way they're doing things.
Okay.
A large majority of these people are not that. A
No.
large majority of these people are people that you are friends with. They're their neighbors. They're your friends. They're the person that you say hello to at the grocery store, at the gas station. These are more lawfully abiding citizens than, I don't know, people who actually did riot
Mm.
during January 6th. So
Right.
I find it extremely hip. The thing that bothers me, and I'm going to get more into the details, and I want to hear your opinion on everything that's going on. The thing that bothers me, the thing that always bothers me to my core is hypocrisy.
Mm-hmm.
Don't tell me, and this is Donald J. Trump's reasoning, don't tell me January 6th was a peaceful protest, and in the moment you get in office, you get all those people out of jail.
Right.
And then turn around when people are protesting and say, well, no, I'm going to send in the National Guard, which escalates things. When people want to say, well, they were throwing stuff at cops and cars and stuff. No. That happened after it was escalated.
Yeah. Yeah. What people need to understand is that prior to this federal level intervention, state and local police were managing the protest peacefully.
Yep.
So Governor Gavin Newsom, he had an address, what was it, yesterday? Earlier today? I don't remember.
Probably
when it was.
yesterday.
I think it was yesterday.
Mm-hmm.
And he described the escalation as a, quote, brazen abuse of power that risked lives and inflamed violence. And that's exactly what it did. State and local police already were managing the protests peacefully. I don't know if, well, I'm pretty sure he doesn't know this because I'm not 100% sure that Donald J. Trump can read, but we do have a constitutional right to protest. So find this very troubling, to say the least.
Yeah. So it was just announced before we jumped on air
Mm-hmm.
that they are going to do the same similar raids that they're doing in LA right now in 5 Democratic cities.
Yeah, of course.
DC, New York. Damn. I had them all and then I forgot. Anyway, but he's looking. If you're paying attention to Trump, he's not an idiot. He's an idiot, but he's not an idiot. He's seen what happened in LA, and he knows that he can get scared people that are over middle America that don't have hardly any interaction with marginalized people, to show them with Fox and OAN and all those, to show what they deem as riots, the most salacious parts of what's going on. And don't get it twisted.
Yeah.
There are peaceful protests, and then there are some rioters in the middle of there. There's
Yeah.
always going to be some people that take things a little too far, that want to take things to the max because they feel like they can, and they're not a part of they're two separate things. I know that's what they like to say with January 6th, is that it was a few separate people, but it seemed like it was a whole gang of folks.
Yeah.
That's what it looked like. I watched that live on TV. That looked like a whole gang of folks. So what he's aiming to do is to have the same situation happen throughout the nation. So he could say, see, I told you the world is burning, because not only Democrats, but some Republicans and some people in the public that are not politicians are saying, yo, you deployed the Marines? You put 700 Marines in LA?
Yeah.
That's not a Marine's job.
Yeah. So it is a violation of a long-standing norm in this country that military force is not used for domestic law enforcement unless absolutely necessary. And really, the last time that we saw a military force at this scale being used as domestic law enforcement was the civil rights movement.
Yeah, so that's what a lot of people that are defending Trump want to go to. With my favorite president, LBJ, deployed the National Guard in Alabama, Mississippi, I think both.
I don't think you're wrong either way.
Yeah, in both Alabama and Mississippi, he deployed the National Guard. The reason is because the local officials were not following the law, not private citizens. The local officials were not enforcing the law. So he was like, look, I'm sending the National Guard down there so that the law is enforced. It's not the same thing here. Gavin Newsom is like, man, we got this under control. It's LAPD, babe. This is one of the biggest gangs in the world. That in NYPD, they don't have no problem getting control under situations. It's one of the most.
They're two of the most populous cities in this country. The local law enforcement know how to handle these situations.
Yes,
effectively.
And so by bringing in the National Guard first, and then sending 700 Marines, which is such, excuse me, ladies and gentlemen, if your kids are listening, I apologize, small dick energy, because it really is, right? There's BDE and there's SDE, and he exudes that all of the time. This is not being tough, right? Picking on people who are protesting. And the reason why they're protesting is because the administration isn't following the law. The administration is breaking the law. There is a process in which you gather people that you think are here illegally, and then there is a due process before you deport them. He is catching and sending. That's what he was doing. That's what they're doing there. They are catching people, and mind you, no warrants.
Right.
These people that are working for ICE, they look like regular people that just been given a badge and not in tactical gear mask, like you're trying to hide your face type mask.
They are trying to hide their face. Yeah.
So the administration is breaking the law. And I got into a huge debate with a person one time about this whole thing. And their argument was, well, those people are here illegally. And I was like, okay, if that's the basis of your argument, okay. So they get deported. I was like, yeah, but when people come here illegally, we have a process before we deport them.
Yeah.
The administration is not following the law. Well, they broke the law first. Okay, you're talking about a person breaking the law, and then you're talking about the system breaking the law. They are not the same thing, and people are trying to use that as an argument, and it's stupid and it's lazy. It's stupid and lazy. You are not going to hold people to the same standard that you hold the government. If that's the case, if that's the world you want to live in, okay, wait. When Republicans don't have power, don't let me become president.
Listen, me either.
Because I'm gonna tell you right now, if that's the way that you are not going to compromise, because that's how politics is done, you got to give a little bit to get a little bit. Okay, that's how it is. Okay, if you're unwilling to compromise, then I'm going to squash you in my way.
Yeah.
And that's just the way it is. If that's the way you want to play, you're not going to like it when you're on the other end. And mind you, y'all might only got about 16 more months of this. And then y'all out the way. But that's the reason why people are protesting, because they're breaking the law.
Yeah.
And they're challenging the court systems, and they're saying, stop us if you can. And then when the courts say, yo, you got to stop, they be like, nah, we're going to keep doing what we're doing.
Yeah, we're going to do whatever we want.
And so the way to fight that is to rebel. And guess what, ladies and gentlemen? That's what this country was founded on. A rebellion.
Yeah.
You want to be strong supporters of the forefathers and the formation of this country. The original rebellion was over tariffs, taxes. They felt that it was unfair. I think that it's unfair that the government doesn't follow the laws in which they set.
Yeah. I don't understand how you don't follow through on your own things. They're your things. Follow through on your own things. Luckily, California is suing the federal government, claiming that this move, infringes on the state's rights under the Constitution. So that's good, because here's ultimately my fear, right? This is a slippery slope. If something like this the normalization of military involvement, right? If it goes unchallenged, like what's the next thing? Like this, it could be just normalized as like, oh, the way that we handle immigration raids or the way that we handle protests in this country writ large is by deploying the military to squash any kind of dissent.
Yeah, he's stated that that was before he got into office. He's been saying that.
Yeah. Again, he told the truth literally the whole time on this campaign trail. It was honestly astounding how transparent he was about his intentions, and y'all still, y'all really don't like black people and women, but
black people, brown people, women, trans people, anybody in the I am struggling.
There might be a P in there.
Hey, well, Pan.
Could.
There you go. LGBTQ plus community, indigenous people.
Yep.
Foreigners, except for white South Africans.
Right.
Right.
Because to date, let's see, they've detained and held in detention tourists from Britain, other European countries, Canadian citizens. So it's that and honestly, the white South African thing, that was that felt very Elon Musk forward. And now that they had their very public breakup,
well, Elon Musk reached out recently, since the whole protest in LA.
He was like, he sent a "What's up, big head" text.
Yeah. Well, basically, he did it through the press. He was like, and then first of all, he was like, "I'm with Donald J. Trump on LA." And then he was like, maybe I did go a little too far with some of the things I said about President Trump. And I was like, nah, bro. Nah, right. Man, you said what you said. Stand on it. Stand on
business. Stand on business, because you tweeted it or X'd it. Well, I don't know what it's called now.
It's X.
Yeah, but like, is the act of
Oh,
posting on there still called a tweet?
yeah, I don't know actually what that is. But
Literally don't know.
so I
But
want you,
my concern is that it sets a dangerous precedent for weaponizing federal power.
it does. That's an issue for me as well.
Mhm.
But there's another issue that keeps gnawing at me. Hypocrisy.
Yeah.
That's my, oh boy, that's my kryptonite.
You really hate it.
I've hated it all my life before I knew what the word was. Okay.
Yeah.
When
Yeah.
somebody said, go clean up your room, and I'm like, your room is dirty. Like,
Yeah.
since I was 4 or 5 years old, I've always hated hypocrisy.
Mhm.
For people that are just like, they're here illegally, get out. You hear a lot of people that are so-called Christians say this.
Mm-hmm.
And I've already gone on the hypocrisy of Christians in this country in general terms. I really want to talk about immigration and what many people will say. Well, there's no such thing as immigration in the Bible. Yes, there is.
Y'all know Jesus he traveled like the whole time. He was just walking around lots of different places. That was kind of his thing.
So I'm going to channel just a few family members who happen to be pastors and give y'all a little bit of scripture.
Amen.
When a foreigner resides among you in your land, do not mistreat them. The foreigner resides among you must be treated as your native born. Love them as yourself, for you were foreigners in Egypt. Leviticus 19:33-34. What is that?
Ooh.
What is foreigners? What the migrants are?
Yeah.
God is described as one who loves the foreigner residing among you. Give them food and clothing. Deuteronomy 10:18. Give them food and clothing.
Yep.
Don't just accept them in. Feed them, nourish them.
Yeah.
Protect them.
Yeah.
For all those people that say, well, I'm a follower of Jesus Christ. Jesus emphasized welcoming the stranger.
Mm-hmm.
He says, I was a stranger and you welcomed me. Matthew 25:35.
Boom.
Now,
Tell
it's the Bible, so I'm going to mess up some of these words.
Mm-hmm.
Malachi.
Mm-hmm.
The Malachi
Yeah.
lists oppressing or depriving foreigners of justice among the sins of God and will be judged harshly. In other words, if you treat foreigners poorly, that is a sin against God, and you will be judged harshly on that road to the kingdom. You might not get there. You might not get there.
Amen.
Because you were treating the foreigner. And who is the foreigner? The migrants trying to come here for a better life. Mind you, they come here for a better life because we tore up their country. But that's neither here nor there. I'm talking about the Bible.
That's a whole nother story.
Exodus insists that abuse of a migrant will be punished by God, who will personally assume the role of the family avenger of the wrong. Do y'all know what that means? That means God turned into an avenger when you wrong a migrant.
Okay.
Yeah.
I don't think avenger in the context of what you say of it.
No, that's what it is.
We're not talking about Marvel's Avengers.
Hey, he could turn into whatever. He or she. God, it, they.
Yeah.
Pronouns here, ladies and gentlemen. They. Okay. Because when you think about it, if somebody was going to create all this, and talk about love, I would think that would more than likely come from a woman. But I'm neither here nor there. Neither here nor there. We're gonna say they.
Okay.
So people are also going to say, I hear what you're saying, Bruce, but it's against the law. Well, what does the Bible say when man's law and God's law come in conflict? Disobedience is warranted only when human laws directly violate explicit biblical commands.
Yeah.
What does the Bible say? Treat your foreigner as the person of your native land. Feed them, clothe them. What does the Bible say? That you should be punished if you treat that foreigner harshly.
Yeah. Or you deny or deprive them of justice.
So wouldn't that be something that would be warranted to go against human laws because it directly violates explicit biblical commands?
Mm-hmm.
The Bible mandates obedience to human authorities unless they require actions that violate God's clear moral or spiritual directives. In such cases, believers are called to prioritize divine law, trusting God's sovereignty over earthly consequences.
But y'all not trying to do that.
But Jay, I got to break that down for what that means. What does that mean?
What do that mean?
It means when man's law goes against God's law, you are commanded, if you are a Christian, and you got so many people out here say they're Christian, saying they're followers of Jesus Christ.
They say it.
That when they are in conflict, God's law supersedes. It is your duty as a follower of the word that you say that you are to go against the laws that are man-made that violate God's law, because God's sovereignty is over earth's consequences.
Yes.
That's the Bible, ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
I can't give no more better sermon than that. So for all those people out there that swear they're a Christian, but want to fight and say deport all the immigrants. Yeah. Well, you're going to have to answer one day to the avenger called God.
Because let's be clear, in their mind, they're thinking everyone, not people who are, most folks over here who are undocumented, came over on a visa, on a plane, the visa expired, they stayed. That's a majority of the people. Okay, there should be some sort of process that we go through where we take a look at that person, the circumstances. Are they working? Are they in school? What's going on? Like, can we get an extension on that visa? What can we do? Like, none of that's being done. They're rounding up anybody that look like they don't belong here and putting them on a plane to wherever they feel like. That should be scary to everyone. I honestly am considering like just doing like a photocopy of my passport and carrying it around with me.
Yeah, because you are racially ambiguous.
I'm ambiguous.
You ambiguous.
Okay. So carrying around with me, not to mention the fact that my first name is Arabic.
Yeah.
It's not. It adds up to I always get stopped at the airport. But everybody should be worried. Everyone should be worried.
Well, those hypocrites out there are not going to be worried because it's not happening to them or anybody around them, and they don't see these people as human beings. They're less
where
than.
Have we heard that before?
Think that we heard
when
that
we were 3/5 of a person.
No, we wasn't even that.
When we finally got some semblance of personhood. Before that, we were chattel.
Right.
And then when they said, well, we can't just say that they're chattel. I guess we can't do that. But we can't say they're a person either. So we'll say, I don't even know where they came up with this equation. They're 3/5. They're 3/5. But I said this earlier, and don't know if you caught it, but you were talking about how ICE, they wear the masks and covering their faces and stuff. And I said, where does that sound familiar? And it's them hoods. Rounding people up.
Yeah.
Very similar. Also, both acronyms are 3 letters. Think about it, people.
Oh, God. Conspiracy.
Is it me Or is it a conspiracy?
Conspiracy Jaden came into the building. All I'm asking people out there is to think.
Yeah.
And if you can't think, shut up. How about do that? If you can't think, shut up. You don't got to have an opinion on everything. Just shut up. Don't talk unless you're informed. And there are going to be people on here, they're going to say, well, y'all weren't very informed because this is no, we were. Now I may say some words wrong every now and then.
Yeah. That's going to happen.
Yeah. I mean, that's a given. I'm going to stumble.
We tired. We're going to stumble over. We're going to stutter. We're going to do all
Even if I was fresh, I'm going to stumble over words because I got a speech impediment. And that's just the way, I mean, this is just the way it is.
That's just the way it is.
But, I mean, we came with y'all with facts, law facts, and Bible facts.
Yeah.
Talk your way out of that if you want to. But
you can try.
And if you don't want to hear us, okay. You still got to answer to the mighty Avenger.
We ain't talking about the Incredible Hulk. Or are we?
The original Iron Man. The first Black Panther.
I don't know if we gonna make it to heaven.
Jay, you've been in a few weddings, right?
I have, yes.
I've been in more than a few. We've planned mine.
Yep.
And there's a lot of stuff that goes into planning a wedding. It can be
a lot of moving parts.
Stressful.
Yes, for sure.
The thing that I felt the worst about when I got my divorce is not really getting a divorce. It was the fact that so many people had flown in, come in, spent money to go to my wedding.
Yeah.
And it ended in a divorce. Right. And I felt bad that people it was a lot of people. It was a lot of people at my weddings. Yeah. It was a lot of people.
Yeah.
And I felt bad about that. Because it costs people money. What do you do if somebody invites you to a wedding and they start changing up the script of what's going to happen at the wedding at the last minute?
I mean, the very last minute.
And why am I bringing this up? Reddit, y'all. So I'm going to read to you this Reddit post about a change in a wedding.
Yeah.
This was an email that was sent out to all the people that's participating and coming to the wedding.
Yeah.
Hi, everyone. We want to make you aware of a critical, important update. The ceremony date is now June 27th, and the location has changed. Please note this down carefully. We have decided we want to have a church ceremony in addition to our planned beach ceremony and reception. The officiant of our choice does not do weddings at location outside of his church. Having a church ceremony is very important to us morally and ethically. We are canceling the beach ceremony to spare redundancies. There will still be a reception on the beach. The ceremony will now be Friday, June 27th at 2 p.m., someplace in Oregon. The reception will be the following day in Port Angeles, Washington.
Two different states.
If you cannot make the 27th, we understand, but please be aware that we will be the only opportunity to participate in professional photos. Bridesmaids, we kindly ask you to wear this yellow dress for the 27th. Still reserve the gray dress you already purchased to wear on the 28th. After the viewing the interior of the church, gray just would not work. Thanks. Groomsmen, yellow ties will be provided for you on the day of the ceremony. If you have any concerns, go ahead and reach out to our super girly wedding planner. Thanks. Can't wait to celebrate with you.
And I'm going to stop you right there.
Yeah, I'm going to stop after every email.
Yeah, because, okay. The way you would immediately see my RSVP change to know. First of all, it's on a week. First of all, the Reddit posted this 6 days ago. Okay. So what was that? June 5th.
June 5th. Right.
They're saying the ceremony is June 27th, not of next year.
This year.
Month.
And what is June 27th? What day of the week does that fall on?
It's a Friday. And not only that, it's at 2 p.m. They couldn't even do it in the evening, so at least I could still go to work and then go after work. So now, so now I gotta take a day off work because I'm in the wedding party. Now I gotta take a day off work. I might have to take 2 days off work.
You got to get an extra hotel because it's in another state.
I gotta get another hotel. And it's in 2 different states on back-to-back days. So I gotta get 1 hotel room in Oregon, then drive several hours to Port Angeles, Washington, where I have another hotel room to attend this beach reception. Because why?
Well, they wanted to have it in the church, and the person that was the officiant don't do it outside of that church.
They'll find another officiant.
Well, they really like this one, and morally and ethically, they just feel right about having it in the church.
Morally and ethically, you can kiss my ass because this... Y'all weren't thinking ethically making this last minute change.
What about the added dress for the bridesmaids?
I didn't even get to the second page.
Because the
gray clashes with the interior of the church. First of all, why did you pick gray for your bridesmaids dresses anyway? That seems like a dumb choice. But
because they're going to be on the beach.
Not a gray is not a good beach color. Like I feel like gray isn't. I don't know. It feels sad to me a little bit. Like as a color, as opposed to like yellow.
Okay. Yeah. No, I mean,
which feels like a more festive color to me.
Yeah.
So now I gotta buy another dress. You telling me this 2 weeks before I have to show up. I gotta change my plane ticket.
I didn't even think about that.
Yeah, because I'm not from Oregon. I'm not from Washington. I'm flying out there.
Mm-hmm.
Now I gotta buy another dress, but still keep the other dress I had for what? I'm not 100% sure.
No, for the beach. One for the church.
To wear on the 20th.
One for the church, one for the beach.
No, I'm not doing a wardrobe change.
No, but that's what she requested. All right, so this is your concerns, right?
Yeah.
The next post is the follow-up. And this post is from a bridesmaid who's coming from halfway across the country and is also a relative of the groom.
Yes.
She states, am I to understand the above message correctly to mean your wedding ceremony is now on a weekday during the day? If so, I have to admit I'm pretty surprised and disappointed. My family booked tickets months in advance to travel to Washington, and the church appears to be several hours away, necessitating another hotel stay. Between that and the unexpected day off work, we can't afford this extra day. I'm not participating for the party aspect so much as the special memory of seeing you and him get married and be a part of that milestone. If I'm misunderstanding something, or if there is another ceremony that will be happening on the 28th, I apologize for the confusion. But please let me know ASAP.
Fair message to send.
What did the bride-to-be say back? Let's be respectful and take this offline, please. Ladies, friendly reminder, contact blank directly with any concerns so as not to spam everyone's inbox. Thanks.
Thanks. That's even worse. And she didn't even spell thanks out. It's just KTHX. That alone makes me want to punch you in the throat. Don't be so like, hi guys, thanks, multiple S's at the end of thanks and all this stuff. No, this is your email was not welcomed. This was not a welcome change. This is not some exciting new piece of information that you're giving us. This is a nightmare. And I rightfully bring up my concerns. But if I'm misunderstanding, I'm sorry.
Mm-hmm.
Just let me know. And you shame me for having some concerns and some questions and looking for clarification? Girl.
Hold on. There's more.
Oh, yeah.
There's more. So the bride sends out another reminder. Quick updates and reminders. Hi, everyone. We are so excited to have you as members of our wedding party. Thank you to those of you who actually care and stuck with us.
Because at this point, people have dropped out, for sure.
A few quick notes, to-dos, and FYIs. General, we will no longer be using the wedding planner.
Wedding planner said, hey guys, y'all are doing entirely too much, and I can't be a part of this event any longer. It is not, we're no longer using, that wedding planner quit.
Well, hold on.
I guarantee.
Hold on.
Guarantee.
Her husband and the name is blocked out, but her husband and her are just too quirky to fit into a box. We're doing things our own way. Please do not contact Megan with any more questions. She is no longer involved with the planning of the wedding.
Megan quit.
Please come early on the 28th because we will have been unable to secure enough chairs. We won't really need them. We'll be dancing all night.
Nah, yeah. Okay. Y'all ain't even got enough chairs. Okay.
If you're in the wedding party, you are not expected to send a gift. Your presence at our special day is gift enough. Now, that's okay. That's nice.
That is welcomed. Because I had to buy a new dress and change my plane ticket and get another hotel. So if you were expecting a gift from me on top of that,
as previously stated, we are unable to accommodate any dietary needs or requests. Please bring your own food if you require that. It gets worse. After careful consideration, we have decided that with the exception of our boys, this wedding will be child-free. That does also include the reception. Please plan accordingly.
You done lost half your guests right there.
We'll have special goodie bags for all members of the wedding party available for pickup at the venue. Spoiler alert, it includes a plant. So if you're traveling internally, please plan accordingly. Internationally, please plan accordingly.
So I'm going to stop you right there. First of all, the wedding was child-friendly. Now you're deciding, again, 2.5 weeks before the wedding, there's no longer child-free. I've already bought our whole family's plane tickets. I already booked the hotel room. I then rebooked the flight because now I got to fly in to Oregon first, and then I had to get a rental so that I could drive up to Washington. I had to get another hotel. And now you're telling me I can't bring my kids, even though I've already paid for all of this stuff. That, if we don't fight at some point in 2025, I will not be satisfied. Okay? And then on top of that, you have people coming in from internationally. You know that. So why in the full hell are you adding a plant that will make it incredibly difficult for them to get through customs with? What do you mean plan accordingly? I can't take a live plant through customs. There's no plan accordingly. Are you asking me to move to the United States so that I can get this plant? No. Take the damn plant out the goodie bag. That don't belong in no damn goodie bag.
What about the dietary? What about if you don't like what we serving, bring your own food.
Bring your own food. Listen, that I'm actually going to address that later because she makes another request, and so I'm gonna go back to the fact that she said no dietary restrictions. So
Well, this is a surprise to me because I didn't read it the whole way through. I stopped probably
yeah.
at this point and said, "Oh, we're
Hmm.
gonna talk about this." And there's a whole
Yeah.
2 more slides, so let's get to them. Let's
Yeah.
get to them. So this is
Hmm.
continuation of the email she sent out. Bridesmaids, if you are over 5'5", please get these flats instead of the initial requested heels.
So now it's another thing I have to buy after I've already bought the heels that you initially requested that I buy. Okay.
Makeup will be $300 per person per day. You
Absolutely
you
insane.
don't have to get it if you don't want to on the 28th, but we kindly insist all bridesmaids get it on the 27th if they want to be in any photos.
I will not be in a single snapshot because what do you mean $300
Per
per
day.
person?
Per day.
Nobody, first of all, makeup artists, if they are doing a wedding, will charge a flat fee based on the number of people that they're going to be doing.
And for mine, did we pay for that or did bridesmaids have to pay for that?
Y'all pay, remember, because I got my friend to do the makeup.
Right.
So you got a good deal on
Yeah,
it.
yeah, yeah.
But
when we
yeah.
paid, we didn't have
No.
bridesmaids come out the pocket because they already
Right.
came out
Correct.
the pocket for the dress and the shoes.
Right.
Yes. Okay. All right.
This is insane.
Yeah, no, it gets worse.
$300.
For the reception day, we will be getting ready starting at 6:45 a.m. at our Airbnb. This is for the bridesmaids. For the
Mhm.
ceremony day, we will be getting ready at the venue time TBD. If you are not there on the 28th by 7 a.m., you will not be let in. To ensure things run smoothly on a timely schedule, nobody wants to repeat of a batch.
She's talking about the Bachelorette party.
Oh,
I had to dig through the comments to see what happened at the Bachelorette party. I'll bring that up
okay.
real quickly. Yeah.
Groomsmen, per tradition, the groom cannot see the bride prior to the ceremony. So unfortunately, there's nowhere for y'all to get ready on the 28th. Since you basically just need ties, this is no biggie. Some people are going to get together at blank pub beforehand. Feel free to coordinate amongst yourselves.
Essentially, hey groomsmen, we have 0 accommodations for you, and if you do want some sort of accommodations, you're gonna have to coordinate that yourself. Cool. Cool.
Next email. Hi. Few quick updates and gentle reminders.
You can't keep saying kindly, gentle, and things like that, and think that that makes this not like less abrasive somehow. First of all, I dropped out the first email she sent.
Right.
I dropped out.
What if it's your best
But
friend?
I dropped out the first email she sent because listen, if you're my best friend, then you know me and you know not to send me nothing like this. Because you're going to get a gentle response, kindly informing you that I ain't coming. Not only that, we going to fight sometime in 2025.
Okay. I have to get through the rest of these emails.
Okay, go ahead. But I'm just so
I know.
flabbergasted.
After careful consideration, we have decided there will be no speeches. Only confirmed Catholic bridesmaids and groomsmen are permitted to stand with us during the ceremony. Not our rules, it's the church's rules. Sorry.
Yeah, the fact that she spelled sorry, SOWWY.
Yeah, I tried to say
This is
sorry.
another. This is another. It is infuriating to read these, y'all.
Some of you have not paid the $25 per person deposit for food, which sets a poor example for the other guests as y'all are all the wedding party. We kindly insist each member of the wedding party chip in $650 for expenses. I'm sorry to have to ask at this point, but it is customary for the wedding party to just offer.
No, it's not. No, it's not. It's not customary for the wedding party to pay for your wedding. And it's also not customary to charge people a deposit for the, because clearly you can't afford your own wedding.
Yeah, we paid for the food.
Yes, you clearly cannot afford your own wedding. I can't even get my dietary restrictions respected, but you asking me to pay a deposit per plate per person, plus for all the other expenses, I assume dealing with your wedding, you want us to kick in $650 each?
On top of the $300 per day for the makeup. So bridesmaids got to buy an extra dress, $300 per day for the makeup, and now she wants $650 for expenses on top of the $25 for the plate.
Of the food that I can't eat because I'm allergic to peanuts or something. I don't know.
If you don't drink, we gently suggest you seriously consider whether or not you really want to come to the reception. This is meant to be a once-in-a-lifetime celebration, and it only takes one wet blanket to sniff out everyone's fire. This is a personal choice you have to make.
Now I'm being shamed because I'm a recovering alcoholic.
Oh.
Okay.
She says translation services. Oh, okay. We will offer translation services for those who need them. Please direct your guests who require such services to sit in the back on the left at both functions. There will be a 30 minutes of open bar before the other guests arrive as a thank you to our #1 ever wedding party. Love you all.
So just so we're clear, the $650 I'm kicking in is probably for that part of that's going to that open bar, correct? So it's really not open.
Ladies and gentlemen,
because I'm paying for
this
it.
is going to be a longer segment because there is more to go, but I feel like y'all are feeling this. So next email. Hey, ladies and himbos, would anyone be interested in helping us get the wedding cake? You'll be shouted out specifically during the ceremony. If so, it has to be dairy-free. Thanks. Love you all so much.
Do not piss me off because you just said you weren't going to respect anyone's dietary restriction. But now I have to you can't afford your wedding.
Hold on,
you don't have a cake. I got 2.5 weeks before your wedding. You don't have a cake and you want it to be dairy free. So I got to respect your dietary restriction. And you're not going to respect mine. Do not piss me off.
The next and the last email, and this is by far the funniest.
Mm-hmm.
If you are no longer participating in our wedding, pulling out just days before the ceremony, we totally understand. But please be advised, we won't forget who stood with us or not.
First of all, not if I'm no longer participating. I'm
because you
no
was out
longer
the first email.
I was already out. But even if I stayed in, even if I tried to roll with y'all because that's the groom is my brother or something like that, even if I tried to roll with y'all, and you're shaming people for pulling out days before the ceremony, it's because you changed everything and demanded minimum $1,500 from everybody at the last minute.
Your math is wrong. $1,500, where'd you get that from?
I just threw it out there.
Okay, right.
I'm thinking, I don't know how much the other dress costs. I don't know how much the shoes cost. I don't know how much the additional hotel room, changing my plane ticket. I don't know how $300 per day for the makeup.
So that's $600
plus $25.
So that's $625 plus the $650. If you
plus the $650.
So that's $1,275. Okay, you not far out. $1,500. Yeah, no, you
plus. Yeah, that's
and
it.
And if you help out on the cake, the dairy-free cake.
The dairy-free cake, which you're gonna have to pay extra because one, it's gonna be a dairy-free cake, and two, it's at the last minute.
Hotel, you get extra hotel room in another state. Yep. You got to find a way to get from one state to the next.
And I have to figure out who's gonna watch my kids.
Yep. So more than $1,500. She didn't add in an additional over $1,500 for the bridesmaids. The groomsmen getting off kind of easy here.
Yeah,
they just don't have. They just don't.
I
mean, they just don't have a place to like go and sit. So the husband to be is just sitting there like, yeah, baby, whatever you want to do, that sounds good to me. Because he's only looking at it from his perspective. He's not seeing it from everybody else's perspective that's on the other side of the fence. And I'm sure he's not directing these emails. These emails seem like they're coming specifically from her, and she's
Yeah,
the
yeah,
one
yeah.
catching the hell. So all she's doing is complaining to him. They pulled out, she pulled out. They're complaining about us going over here. Now you telling me that if I ain't Catholic, I can't even really participate with you in some of the festivities of being part of the wedding party? I ain't coming.
I'm not
If
coming.
one of my friends had done this, I'd be like, hey man, I love you, right? I consider you like a brother. But I'm out. And if that
Yeah.
means that we can't be friends no more, I completely understand. But what you're
So be
asking
it.
is absolutely unreasonable. And I'm not about to pay what would amount to be. You got the 1,500, you got the extra hotel room, you got the transition back and forth. You're probably getting close to about
Easily
$2,000.
20. Yeah,
You,
$2,000,
that's rent.
$2,500. Yeah,
That's a
yeah.
mortgage payment. That's rent.
And that's just assuming that I'm traveling by myself.
Right.
What if I'm traveling with my partner? Now, first of all, I got to find somebody to watch my kids.
It might have to be your partner. Your partner came in and you can't go to the wedding now. Somebody got to watch the kids.
Yeah. I got to take the day off work. Who gonna replace my PTO?
And then saying, if you ain't drinking at the reception, don't even come. Don't even bring your ass to the reception if you don't nobody want no wet blanket. Oh, and by the way, we ain't got enough chairs anyway.
Right.
So you gonna be on the dance floor. No, I got heel spurs and plantar fasciitis. Okay. I gotta wear Hoka shoes at the reception because I need the extra cushion on my feet just to be around. I need to find a place to sit. I can't find a place to sit because Aunt Ruth got to sit. Uncle George got to sit. But I can't sit because they taking up the seats because you ain't got enough seats.
Because you can't afford this wedding.
Yeah, you know what?
I mean, to me, as I was reading through it, I was like, oh, it's giving broke.
What happened at the bachelorette party, though? So you said you read the comments.
Yeah, so bachelorette party, I guess because the bridesmaids had to pay for so much, nobody stepped up to plan a bachelorette party for her. So she demanded one. She wanted a destination bachelorette party. Okay. And she wanted it. She gave people a week's notice. A week. Okay. So she just assumed everybody was going to go. So she booked accommodations.
So she had the money. Did she spend the money on that instead of on the wedding?
It's very strange because you're gonna have translation services, so you're paying for that, but you ain't got enough chairs, and you don't have a cake, and I gotta pay for my own food because that $25 was just a deposit for the food. I'm assuming there's gonna be another final bill for the food. That was just a deposit.
Well, how'd you find the comments? These were people from the wedding party that knew
the person that posted these.
Okay. Oh, yeah, right. I figured that they would have to be in the wedding party to get these emails. So the person that posted it was just like, "This is what's going on."
Yeah. Wait, what did she say? How old are these people? 33 and 47. Good Lord. What? So not young. These are grown people who should know better.
I guarantee you, he's 47. She's 33.
Yeah.
I guarantee you, this is not his first marriage. This is definitely her first.
Yes. And I saw another comment that the poster made that he is not involved. Like she said, concerningly checked out. Okay.
Because if my ex was acting this way, now I know you said before a previous podcast, if y'all listen to this regularly, my sister said, "Hey, I knew I couldn't say anything to you because I know who you are. I knew who she was. Y'all was going to dig in and forward straight ahead anyway." And I was like, right, we probably still be together out of spite for everybody else. But at this point, if she was acting like that, would you say something?
Hell yeah. Because I was already, we'll talk about that off camera.
Okay, all right.
But I was already annoyed by a couple things. Okay, but we'll talk about that. But it wasn't to this extent. I don't understand Bridezillas and Groomzillas. Like, what what breaks in your brain that you think that it is reasonable to ask this much of people who are coming to celebrate you? I'm getting nothing out of this. Nothing. There's no benefit for me to come to your wedding other than to support you, but I'm getting nothing out of this. And you're still asking me to go above and beyond. So, anyway, the bachelorette party, of course, no one shows up. So then the bill for the accommodations is like footed by the bride and two other bridesmaids that actually showed up. So she's like, we don't want a repeat of that. Don't do stuff last minute. And if nobody was throwing you a bachelorette party, baby, why would you think that they would pay for a destination? I wasn't even willing to take you to the local strip club. So why would you think?
And everybody want to go to the Blue Flame.
Everybody does. But why would you think I want to go to the Bahamas with you if I wasn't even willing to take you down the street to the local strip club? Please don't piss me off. The way this got, as y'all can see, the show is going long, and I'm sorry.
The show is going real long.
I apologize, but damn, this pissed me off because I wouldn't have a friend anymore. I wouldn't have a friend. I would not have a friend anymore. Because there's no way I could stay silent about this. There's absolutely no way. You would get a phone call from me, a FaceTime, something, and my first question would be, what the hell?
Oh. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we're going to wrap this up. Before we do, I mean, I don't need to top anything that Masa said about this wedding. Like, this was crazy. I picked a good Reddit post. I picked a good one. Jay, what do you want to tell these people out here? And I know it's probably going to have something to do with weddings.
Yeah, it does. Your wedding is for you. So if people are willing to give their time, their money, their energy, it is 100% in support of you. They get nothing out of it. So be mindful of that. Also be mindful that nobody has to do a damn thing for you. So if they do, you need to honor that. And if you can't afford your wedding, you better head over to the Justice of Peace and stop playing. Don't piss me off. Not today.
And on that note, ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you for listening. I want to thank you for watching this very long episode. Until next time, as always, I'll holla. And let me pull up that as well, so I can easily go to it. I gotta make sure I cut that out. Can't have that fuck around and get another copyright thing. Did you hear about that YouTuber? Yeah, we got one before, but it was some bull because I make sure that there is nothing copyrighted on our stuff. And I found out because there was a YouTuber that got shot and killed in Las Vegas by another YouTuber, and that's because they were beefing, and one of the beefs was having people having people like throw fake copyright stuff, and so that's we get a lot of hate because of what we talk about, and that's what I believe happened. All right, I'll be ready to start this as soon as I can get it on. I don't know what we're going to dilly-dally about. You got anything to dilly-dally about?
Not really.
Shit. Well,
let's just see where it goes.
Yeah, we
usually could come up with something.
Yeah, we be talking nonsense. That's one thing for sure. I need to come up with the intro right now. I'm ill prepared to film the show right now. Okay. I've had a long day, and
same.
Yeah, I know you have. If it wasn't Thursday, then I would be like, let's just do it another day. But I mean, if it wasn't Wednesday, we can't do it tomorrow because I need to have it uploaded and finished tomorrow. All right, what were we talking about? We're talking about the protest. even though I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
We're talking about weddings
Mm-hmm.
and diddly daddling. All right. Hypocrisy and special treatment. Yeah, I got it. Are you ready?
Mm-hmm.
Welcome. First of all, welcome. This is Unsolicited
What's that first of all had so much sauce on it.
Say what?
That first of all had so much sauce on it. Welcome. First of all, welcome. It was like that. I was like, okay, that's too much.
Yeah. All right. Here we go.
Okay.
That was good.
See, I told you we could dilly dally. We can dilly dally. We ain't got to be no damn plan.
So
we can dilly dally.
Part of the memberships are going to be doing live streams. So I've been studying to figure out what I need to do to be able to stream to multiple platforms like Kai Kanite or whatever his name is, and iSpeed. Yeah, iSpeed and all of them, how they do it on all these different platforms and do the overlays and all that stuff.
Yeah.
If they do it, I know I can do it. I just need to figure it out.
Yeah. like when I see the people who do it, I'm like, yeah, we can definitely do it.
Not to say that they not, because
yeah. Well, we're not talking about rocket scientists here.
Well, we don't know. They could be absolutely brilliant to be able to market, to be able to go on a stream for 10 hours and talk.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I don't know.
That's really difficult.
I don't see it, but sure, they could be.
Man, you remember them PBS telethons back in the day? The hosts had a whole bunch of acts come out to pass that time. That host couldn't do it all himself. And the host used to be part of the Rat Pack, like Dean Martin, Frank Sinatra, not Frank Sinatra, and Sammy Davis.
It could be Frank Sinatra.
No, I don't. Did I have a stroke or something? It's hot.
It is hot, but it could be Francis Sinatra.
Let's get to this next thing that I really don't want to talk about that I know that we need to.
All right.
Oh. All right, let's get to this last segment. We think this was all right. This was all right.
Yeah, because girlfriend is tripping.
Oh. Let me find it. My internet on my phone been acting funky. It's gonna get funky. Take it back one time. I thought I saved it.
Stop the hold on, let me eat some of my fish fillet.
You got a fish fillet. Oh Lord.
I'm trying to eat and do the show and do all the things simultaneously. Because there is not enough hours in the day.
Yeah, I mean, if you don't ever sleep, there's enough hours.
Even then, because I pulled all-nighters, and I'm like, damn, pulled an all-nighter, I'm still not done. So, yeah, there's just not enough hours.
All right, I got to read all of this.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Ready?
Yeah. Yeah, it was going to have to run long because let me tell you.
If I had known that, I would have cut down the dilly daddling. We was like, I don't know what we're going to talk about the dilly daddling. And the dilly daddling went almost 20 minutes. And then I started preaching that sermon. That sermon was an extra 10, 15, 20 minutes.
Sometimes they get a long episode. And that's
this should have been the 250th episode. That's what it should have been.
Every time I hit that little arrow to see the next email, I got more and more pissed off. If somebody took my blood pressure right now, it's 1,000,000 over 1,000,000.
1,000,000 over 1,000,000.
No, because you got to be kidding me.
I only read like the first 3 slides and I was like, this is crazy. We got to talk about this. And so I'm literally getting it live as I'm reading it like, wait a minute, what the did I just read? Mm-hmm. This is crazy.
Yeah.
Wow. Oh, people be tripping out here.
Mm-hmm.
All right, we went long. We did the recording. This is good enough. It's late, and I got to go to bed. And I got to do a little bit of editing before I go to bed. And because we ran long, now I got to go downstairs and get me a bag of Cheetos.
I mean, that just is fair.
Yeah.
I think that's fair. Yeah. All right, good. Turn off the.
Woo! That was a hell of a show. Thank you for rocking with us here on Unsolicited Perspectives with Bruce Anthony. Now, before you go, don't forget to follow, subscribe, like, comment, and share our podcast wherever you're listening or watching it to it. Pass it along to your friends. If you enjoy it, that means the people that you rock with will enjoy it also. So share the wealth, share the knowledge, share the noise. And for all those people that say, well, I don't have a YouTube. If you have a Gmail account, you have a YouTube, subscribe to our YouTube channel where you can actually watch our video podcast and YouTube exclusive content. But the real party is on our Patreon page, After Hours Uncensored and Talking Straight-ish. After Hours Uncensored is another show with my sister. And once again, the key word there is uncensored. Those are exclusively on our Patreon page. Jump onto our website at unsolicitedperspectives.com for all things us. That's where you can get all of our audio, video, our blogs, and even buy our merch. And if you really feel generous and want to help us out, you can donate on our donations page. Donations go strictly to improving our software and hardware so we can keep giving you guys good content that you can clearly listen to and that you can clearly see. So any donation would be appreciative. Most importantly, I want to say thank you, thank you, thank you for listening and watching and supporting us. And I'll catch you next time. Audi 5000. Peace.